everyone, it's Amy, and I'm just coming on because I had a couple requests to show playing with my jelly plate. So I'm getting all set up, so I thought I'd come on and show you first getting set up. The things I get ready, I've got my brayer and my clean off sheet. I have a stack of paper and a stack of paper towels. I have a whole bunch of different colors. And this is all just plain craft paint. And what I did was, I seem to be having a problem with my paint sticking and then leaving big dark marks where it originally hit the jelly plate. So I watered all my paints down a little bit. I think I'm going to have to get an extender, a paint extender, but I don't have anything close to where I live. So I'll have to wait till the next time I go to town. So I thought I'd try watering them down and see if they work. I have a bottle of water to clean things up. I have some texture and some more texture. This is my absolute favorite. I love this doily. I have some stamps. And then I have some more stamps. Thanks again to BettsyDoodle because she made some stamps on insulation, foam insulation. And so I thought, I think I have some of that. So of course I had to copy her. So I made some stamps. See, there's the Pink Panther. That's on the back of the insulation. So I made a few stamps, so I thought I'd play with those. These are actually, when I did them last night, they do really work really well. And then I've got some of my stencils and my jelly plates. Now I'm going to use my large jelly plate. Originally, the first one that I made, didn't work very well and I had to melt it back down, and when I melted it down I made this square one, which I think is like 8 by 8 square, and then what I had left I put in a little round bowl and made this round one, and these both work really well and they're nice and thick. And I do apologize for the lighting, it seems to be quite dark, but it's really overcast today. And for my little round one I'm just storing it on a piece of acetate and then covering it with a piece of acetate, which obviously I didn't clean it very well last time. Just to kind of keep it safe so that I don't set something on top of it that might dig into it. And then for my larger ones, I just have some glass plates that I had, and so that's what I'm putting my large ones on, but with this one, I'm covering it with a piece of acetate just to keep the top safe. Oops, sorry about that. And then, for my large one, because I didn't like those not covering the whole paper, and so I went to Walmart and I just bought this cookie sheet. It looked like it was right about the right depth, and I thought that would work perfect. And also then, when I'm done, I just put and it's all cleaned up, I put the cookie sheet back on top, and it's nice and safe because underneath it is the solid piece of glass. So that's how I made it, and I think I paid $2.99 for this. So for $3 you can have a nice mold to, whenever you have to redo it. And so this is my newest jelly plate. It's not quite as thick. I didn't have quite as much stuff to fill that pan. So anyways, this is everything that I pulled out to get set up. So I'm going to put this video up because my camera doesn't do video very long. And then I'll put them together and I'll be right back and we'll play. Okay, I'm back and we're ready to play. So we'll just start out getting some paint on here. Oh, this one is still a little bit thick, I think. Let's try it with some light blue. I like to do like 2 or 3 colors. I think most people do more than one color. It makes for a really good effect. And it does look like the blue is sticking in the spots where it originally hit. And this really seems to be drying still quickly. I'm not sure if there's anybody watching this, if you know like how to make that not happen. You know, how to make the paint flow a little bit better without like the paint extender. Maybe Give it a couple squirts of water. Because I think I'm mixing it long enough. But we'll just have to see. And it usually shows up the most. After you do that, just wipe off your brayer. I'm going to do my most favorite first. This just turns out so gorgeous. Put this on here. And give it a good rub. Press it to the edges. And then whenever you've got any kind of a stencil or anything on there, I hope I'm not shaking you too much, you have to really kind of rub in where those spots are to kind of get the paint to come up through that stencil. And that's part of the jelly plate. That's where the jelly plate comes in, because the jelly plate is soft, when you push on it like that, the jelly plate kind of like pushes up through your stencil, or in this case through the doily, and that's where it's easy to get that this way. Otherwise, if you were on a hard surface, you'd really have to like push down every one. You'd have to, but this one you're going from both ways. You're pushing from the top, and the jelly plate's pushing from the bottom. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. So that should be good. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, yes. Look at that. It is so beautiful. I just love that. It's my absolute favorite. And then we peel this off, and I usually put that on my wipe-off plate, kind of roll across it and get a little bit of color on there. And now we can take another piece and pick up the negative of that one. And both of them come out just beautiful. Yeah, look at that. But see, where the blue, this is the dark spots of the blue, that's where the blue originally hit when I put it on. And that's what I'm trying to figure out, is how to take care of that. It looks like I can almost get one more ghost print on this. So I am going to try it. And this is just cheap paper that I picked up at a secondhand store. It's the kind that used to go through the printers with the little strips on the edge that would pull them through. Oh, even that ghost print turned out really pretty. Gorgeous. Now that paper, I got 2 boxes of it because Grandpa made me go back and buy another one. I had bought one at a garage sale earlier this year, and then I had saw one at the secondhand store. And so the second box that I just bought, it's a lot thinner paper. This one is much thinner, so it really is curling. But it doesn't matter. As soon as the paint's dry, it'll be just fine. Alright, I'm just going to throw some more paint on here. And let's do a darker purple with it. I should put some lines on my glass to show me where the edge of my paper is, then I wouldn't have extra out on the end. Oh, those colors are pretty together. Yeah, I just don't know what to do about my paint sticking and getting dry so quick. Alrighty, what shall we do with that one? Let's do this stencil. That's the flower background. Another piece of paper. And you can do so many things with these. Dee makes bags out of them that are just gorgeous. You'll have to go check out her channel and check that out. Really nice little gift bags. And she makes flowers. You can use them for backgrounds in your journals. If you have a journal that has the pages that come out, you can put your page right on here and do this. I think this one's going to work really well. I think I like this thin paper that Papa made me get. Oh yeah, that looks really pretty. And then we can take that off. that over on my wipe off sheet. And let's see. Maybe because we've got the edges out here that my stencil covered. Oh, when you use a stamp, sorry for the interruption, my phone rang and that stops it from recording. I was saying that when you do use a stamp, when you put it on your page, stamp it off onto a piece of paper before you do the next one. Then it will be kind of dry and it will pick up more paint each time. Otherwise, if you do this and then you just go right to the next one, it's already got paint on it. It won't pick up as much paint each time that you do it. So stamp off. I decided that I want to do one more stencil, and I want to do my daisy stencil. And so I started putting on some, a little bit of paint here for that. And I'm putting my paint on kind of to match my stencil so that my stencil will be yellow and green. So I'm going to do it this way. And then I set a wet paper towel on that piece. Okay, so let's go with this one. See how this turns out. Yeah, if you have a stencil or something, you don't have to like mix your colors all over. You can, you know, like I put yellow on one half and green on the other. And let's see how that worked. Ooh, that worked really pretty. That looks really nice. Yeah, I like that. I wonder what will happen if I try and get one more. See if I have enough paint to get one more. I don't think so, but we'll try. That's the nice thing about this. You're just playing, and if it doesn't work out, you just use the same piece of paper again on a different print. And the layering sometimes works out better than you thought. Well, that's kind of a light print. That might work to do something with. I'm going to take this and put it on my roll-off sheet, which I actually have not been using. Just been setting my brayer aside. And then, now let's go ahead and pick this up. Now we'll get the negative. And that could be a grassy background and a sunny sky, and I can do the flowers in a different color. Oh yeah. And the stems in a darker color. That turned out really nice. I'm surprised. I wasn't even really thinking of that. So we'll just do one more thing. We'll try a few stamps and see how those work. I want to wipe this off first. And really, you know, you get 3 or 4 prints from just one amount of paint that you put on there. And so really, you know, sometimes you think, oh, that's a lot of paint. To get 4 prints, if you were to actually paint on a piece of paper, you would use a whole lot. If I was to paint this whole piece of paper, I mean all of that yellow and all of that green, I would have used a lot more paint than I put on this jelly print. So it really, you know, originally I was thinking, boy, I'm using a lot of paint. And then I got to looking at how much paint I really used and how many pieces I was getting out of it, and realized that, no, I'm using actually a very small amount compared to other ways that I might paint something. So you don't really need to look at it that way, because it really is not a waste of paint. Okay, what haven't we used? We haven't used orange. Let's do some orange. Woo, that's a lot of orange. And how about some turquoise with it? Oh, and I'll use my other brayer. Wow, that is some really bright colors. I think that's kind of, ooh, and you have to be careful though. I don't want to get that too muddy. I think I'm going to try a few few of the shapes. And even with these, I stamp off because otherwise it won't pick up as much paint. And you know, you can't hardly see anything. It doesn't look like you can see anything, but even I can't hardly see anything. But when you actually pick it up, it really does make a difference. It does show. Stamp that off. And we'll put one right underneath of it. And then maybe a little bit of the sequin waste. Pick that up. Let's put this little one right in the middle. And we'll call that good. Let's see how we do. And this time we're just picking up the paint, so we're not having to go through a stencil. You don't have to go around it as much, but actually this is like really calming to do this. I don't know why, but to me, I really like doing that. Oops, I have two pieces of paper here. So here's how this one turned out. You can see where the stamp was and the little circles, but again, because that turquoise, where it got originally dropped, because it didn't blend very well, it really is distracting from the stamp. If this, I think, was all kind of one layer, I think that would have looked much better. Okay, and then you can also use these as a stamp pad for your stamps. So I'm just going to really quick put some paint on here. Oops. Try and remember this time to actually wipe it off. And then I've got the stamps that I made that Dee showed how to do yesterday. And Dee is BettsyDoodle. And if you don't know BettsyDoodle, go check out her channel. She does some really fun things. And then I'm just going to, I'll slide this aside really quick. Just put it on here and press it down. And just make sure you press it all over. This really does work really well because this is so dense. I've made these kind of stamps with the Fun Foam before, but it's so thin. And there we go. Really nice for a mixed media piece. And then let's see what it looks like. Let's pick some of that up. I'm just going to pick up half. Ooh. And then I'll pick up the other half. And again, this piece is looking a little bit muddy, a little mucky, but you'd be surprised sometimes when you put another layer on it. Some of the ones that are just a mess like this wind up being one of your best pieces. And I know you wouldn't think that, but even Grandpa says that. Wow, that was, you know, I thought that was going to be really bad, but, you know, you put that on there and now it looks good. So, yeah, this piece right here definitely needs something. But I will use that at another time. And it'll probably turn out really pretty. And the thing is, when you don't like them, if you were to cut this into a flower, those are pretty colors for flowers, you know. So you don't have to have it as a background piece. This one here, I don't particularly like these two colors together, and I really don't like how dark that teal turned out. But it would make a pretty flower or a pretty bag, or, you know, when you don't use it as a whole piece, it looks so much different. Cut it into circles or squares or whatever. So, and then to clean them off, just spray them with water and wipe them down. Now mine is getting a little bit, I do notice that when I push the stencils into them, sometimes it makes little marks. And so eventually this will have to be melted back down and report. But that's all you have to do with it. That's, you know, the nice thing about it is when it starts getting those marks in it, if it's too bad, then you just tear it all up, throw it in the microwave for like a minute, and stir it. And if it seems like it's all melted, pour it back in your pan and let it sit for a few hours. And you're ready to go again. So I appreciate you all watching. And I even appreciate BettsyDoodle for getting me hooked, because this really has been a blast. So I did have some people ask what I do with them. So I think I'm going to come back and make a few cards. Oh, I thought I had a card out here somewhere. I did make a card base the other day. Oh, here it is. Out of one of the jelly plates, and this is what it looks like. And I just glued it on with Mod Podge, put a little bit of Distress ink around the edges, and then I put, the Mod Podge was glitter Mod Podge, so it kind of glitters. So yeah, just easy peasy. Make a nice little card. You could put a sentiment on the front, put a flower on the front, and put your message inside, and it's good to go. So, and this was one that really, the edges and stuff did not turn out real well. Of course, it is my favorite one. It's the doily, but I think it turned out really, really pretty. So, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.